Okay, this is the single male Leo reading for Valentine's month, Valentine's Day, but for the month of February 2018. So what I do is, for the singles, I basically created a House of Love spread, okay? And the 3 cards that make up the roof are basically anything of significance coming your way. So you may be single at this point, or you may be dabbling in an energy, but it'll really highlight the next significant relationship coming in. So that's, the roof is made up of that, either feelings that you have between you or situations that create that meeting. And then the 4 cards that make up the house are really the relationship in full swing once it's started. I'm using the Romance Tarot for the main cards and the Sexual Tarot to kind of accentuate on that romance, get a little deeper in there. The first card I get on the romance side is the 9 of Swords. And the 9 of Swords is really about that mirror that shows up there. We have a couple looking into a mirror, and really what I've assigned to this is the fact that you may be coming across someone where you've met your match. Someone who is more on an equal playing field with you. So someone who is up to par. Okay, you may not have had that in the past. I feel like you have come from a real imbalanced relationship, either your last one or dating scenarios that just didn't work out. But I feel like this single is coming into a more level playing field, okay, in the partner. Now, the sex card I get to accentuate that is the 3 of Pentacles. So that's a grounded, earthy feel, right, to the sexual side, the intimate side of things. Something that really makes you happy in the sexual side. And I feel, too, in the past, we're not quite hitting on that. I feel like you are very... you either settled for things or really didn't know what you wanted when you had the relationship you did in the past. So now you're more geared to understand what it is you wanted through the absence of it in your relationship beforehand, if that makes any sense here. But that's the sense I'm getting. These Leo males have really had such a lack of what they wanted, but they didn't know that they wanted it until they had a lot of what they didn't want, and then they're going, no, I don't want that anymore. So sex and satisfaction, that's one of the things that I feel the relationship coming in the future is really going to give you a grounded feel to that. You're going to feel very sexually equal to this person, you know, like it's hard to express, but on balancing in a romantic sense and balanced in a sexual sense as well. You want what I want, and I like what you like, and you like what I like, that kind of thing. And not trying to accommodate, but naturally feeling that as a base. Now, the next card I get in the roof here is the 5 of Cups. So the 5 of Cups is really about argument and strife and having quarrels, really. Disagreements, right? So interesting as that is, we have something grounded sexually, pair. This new romance that's coming in here may be kind of fiery, may be someone who is very argumentative or brings out that side in you. As we go on here, like the 5 of Cups is definitely about disagreements. So that's interesting. That's what brings you together. So the Knave of Swords is on the sexual side of things. So there's a sense here of a man looking at a woman and feeling attracted to her. But I'm getting a sense from this card that maybe that woman doesn't know. You know, and I'm feeling like you're the man. You're like, yeah, I want that. But I don't think the woman is truly informed here yet. I think you're just admiring things from a physical standpoint, and you may even be getting slack for that, or may have gotten slack for that in your relationship. Realizing and putting your intent on someone else, and it's felt in your relationship, may have been why it busted up. You're like, no, I realize I want something else. I'm admiring something else. And then making that decision there and then having conflict over it might be. The next card I get in the romance area is the Seven of Cups. And the Seven of Cups here is really about admiration. Feeling admiration for a woman, right? So we're on the Leo male. So the Leo male is really admiring something outside of themselves. And that's two cards, right? We're admiring the physical side, and we're also admiring this person in public and being enamored of them in a public sense. The next card I get for the sex side of things is the Knight of Pentacles. Now, the Knight of Pentacles is that stable, sturdy energy. I do get a sense that these are qualities within you. You are a fire sign. You are not an earth. But I feel like you've grown through the relationship that you've been in to be more sturdy and more solid than... I don't think you weren't sturdy and solid in that relationship. I don't think you were happy and content as much as you could be. I think you were distracted. I think you were busy gaining life skills in, here we go, in the office sense, you know, or being at work. But I think at this point, you've become more grounded in a romantic sense. The romance means something to you now. Before, it was a foreign word. What's romance? Is that my language? Do I understand what that means? This is what the Leo male single is kind of, that's the air I'm getting. He's just starting to understand what romance truly means. The word flies by, it don't mean nothing. Now it's going to mean something. Why? Because he's got his eyes set on something he wants. And he's going to try and get it, right? And he's not going to spare anything, including public affection, in getting it. So that's a strong, stable energy. And when we have the Knight of Pentacles, he's really charging towards the future, but he's making that offer to that woman, and I'll tell you, he's got everything to back it up. You know, he's not just making the offer, but he's being affectionate towards her. He's admiring her, you know, physically, mentally, all of those things. It seems like it's more than just one area. You know, and I think it's going to work out. We're kind of going backwards because I think when they get into the physical side of things, that's going to be really yummy as well. It's going to work out really good. So that's the roof, right? So that's the meeting. So we got a sense here of meeting your match in the bedroom. It's really grounded energy, good. Nothing crazy, just good grounded sex. And then we get into the 5. There's conflict somewhere in the midst here, but there's an attention to detail in this woman that is very much arousing that fire in you, and then you go outward and react from that in a physical way, meaning you make you know, attempts forward. You know, you talk to this woman and you try and get her to start dating, that kind of thing, and you make real grounded, stable effort to do that. Now, as we get into the house here, the first card I get in the romance is the King of Cups. So the King of Cups is really that man. He's got all his emotions figured out, and he's smart with them, and he doesn't use them against people. So he's really that kind, compassionate, sensitive man that every woman wants, right? So I feel like this is the Leo male kind of coming into that emotional center, because I do feel like that was foreign to him. But again, he wasn't fired up enough from the inside to want to bring that outward, and I feel like now he is. So that's the king coming. It's like suddenly I'm single, and I'm going to look towards something, and my emotions are stable, strong, steady, compassionate, and ready to go. And the card I get on the sex side of things here is the Justice card. So he feels very balanced in his emotions. And there's one thing about feeling it and actually being it, but this is a match here. He's feeling stable because he is stable, and he's going to go out with the stability, right, in the emotional center. Now, the next card I get is interesting, is the Page of Coins. Now, you're fire, but the Page of Coins is really about the lightheartedness. He's got his pentacles here laying at his feet. He's playing for the pleasure of it, right? And he's really, there's no attachment here to anything. He just picks up his little plate and goes home at the end of the day and does whatever he does. So he's got a sense of freedom. I feel like this is kind of really amping that up. There's a sense of freedom that he's feeling in a transition, right? In the singleness. Because I feel like there was a relationship. I feel like there's a singleness, and then there's this relationship coming in. And there's still a sense of freedom that he's feeling within that. So the next card I get, the sex card, is the Nine of Pentacles. So there's an obsession here. To a high degree, we got to watch. The reason we have the Knave of Swords, that's about admiration of the female body. That's on the sex side. Then we have the Seven of Cups, which is in the romance areas, overflowing those emotions in public. And the Knight of Pentacles is balancing him, trying to keep him steady. But we have the Nine of Pentacles just blows that out of the water. It's like, no, I am obsessed with this person. I got so much feelings. I don't even know where they're coming from. This is so foreign to me. And I get a sense here that it is foreign to this man, but it's overwhelming, all-consuming. So it's just, that's what's going on here. We got an overwhelming sense of something that we've never wanted so much in our lives, that kind of thing. You know, the point where he's clipping the hair and, you know. So as we move on, we get the Queen of Coins. And the Queen of Coins is really, look at this. We have a Page of Pentacles and a King of Cups. And then we have a Knight of Pentacles and a Queen, right? So there's a bit of a matching of the energy here. So it seems like the woman that you may be coming into here is maybe an earth sign or may have those earth sign qualities. A Taurus, a Virgo, or a Capricorn. Okay? And these women are really within their own right. They like to be stable and independent financially, able to look after themselves. Not only that, stable emotionally and grounded. Not much gets them riled up. They are stable, period. We have a stable man coming at a stable woman, okay? And then to accentuate that, I get the Knight of Cups. So the Knight of Cups is about that man coming forward to make an offer, is interested. There's an order of interest here. And we're looking at the Queen of Pentacles in doing that. Now, we may have, okay, a Queen of Pentacles coming at you in a loving kind of way, okay? Now, I don't know if this is where your focus is at. Now, the next card I get is the Four of Cups. So the Four of Cups is really, again, about that male accommodating the female, wanting to bend over backwards for her. He's bending forwards, but you know what I mean? He is really, there's so many cards here that are showing an overwhelming urge for this man to accommodate the woman. And then to accentuate that on the sex side of things, we get the Five of Cups. So the Five of Cups throws things a little bit. Because if we have the male single, he may be thinking about a past love that he hasn't quite dealt with. So he may have this admiration, okay, for this person. And it could be an earth type quality to this female that he's looking at. But he's not quite dealt with all his feelings from the past, okay? And I think if you asked him, he would say, you know, I don't have any feelings. I've dealt with it. It's done. But there's something there that he has to process nonetheless. But nonetheless, there's energy here and overwhelming feelings that need to be dealt with. And also maybe not dealing with things in the past or thinking about things in the past. You know, I'm going to clarify that one. Yeah, in a dreamy kind of way. So I'm not too sure. There's maybe wanting things to work out in the past because it was safe and it felt like, you know, but yet there's something here that's being offered that is very overwhelming. So a need to really deal with a lot of emotions here. Yeah, and a sense of feeling things is not felt before or as deeply as ever felt. Okay, so in that way is usually a soulmate type relationship or a love at first sight type feel is what I'm getting here for this Leo male, is really something visually finds exciting and emotionally on all levels. Just the more he digs, the more it's overwhelming. And yeah, in the beginning, I feel like there's kind of a cordial way that he goes about her, but I feel like this woman that comes in, and I don't know, I'm conflicted with this Five of Cups. I feel like the Five of Cups is almost giving me a scenario like he's not quite released. He may have broken the relationship in the past, but there may be jealousy nonetheless, right? Okay, we're done, but she can still feel jealous, in some way. And I feel like that's kind of the case because there's an admiration here for another female, a female that, and I don't feel it's, wrong that he did that. I feel like it's within reason, but it's just very overwhelming for this Leo male to deal with. They can't deal with all those emotions. So there's but yet there's an emotional stability within that. Outside of himself, I think he's trying to contain it outside of himself, and that's the balance part. Like he's not knocking on her door, he's not texting her obsessively, that kind of thing. So he's balanced outside of himself, but inside there's like fireworks going off, and whoa, he's wiping the sweat off his brow, that kind of a thing. It's that kind of attraction. There's a lot of fire here, and he's dealing with it. So again, I don't know if that offer is coming from that female or another direction, but either way, there's some kind of energy that comes in near the end of February here where we're thinking of things in the past and not quite where we should be. And it may be, you know what I'm getting actually? It may be troublesome things where maybe your past relationship is coming back to kind of haunt you, and stir things up. And so therefore it's a distraction rather than an attentive looking in there. It's like you don't choose to think about this person, but they may have come back and caused to be the center of attention because things are not dealt with properly, right? Because that's the sets too here, is that the Eight of Wands, we got a little bit of dreaminess going on. And I feel like that's because of the overwhelming feelings, like, and they know that they can't really deal with them outward because it's not rational to have that much connection, right? You gotta cool it a little bit. The sentence is cool the jets, buddy. Slow it down. We can't do what we feel like doing with this one, so we have to cool it. And that's really what I'm getting. And he's doing that, and he's tempering himself. But on the same level, he's still feeling it internally, just not going outwardly with all of that passion. And it would be crazy, if we do that. It's like kissing her hand and kneeling at her feet and do what I want, so he knows that, eh? And he's working through all those emotions. But I feel a sense here for this relationship coming up, huge attraction, physically, mentally, wanting to know more. Almost like I can't get enough of her. That's the feeling I'm getting. It's like I can't get enough. I spend every minute of the day with her, and I want more time. I need more time. I got to get more time with her. I got to get more attention from her. And the Leo male, I think this one anyway, that I'm picking up on the energy from, is really not used to being in that position. They're used to being the focus of that. Of being, the woman comes to them and feels I can't, and then batting them off a little bit, going, hey, girl, chill. Right? They're used to being on the other foot of that, on the other end of that, but they're not used to feeling all of that. And that's what I'm saying. The Leo is getting caught up in something here. It's just all foreign, but it's good. It's fun. But I gotta tame myself down here. That lion just wants to roar and just charge, but he knows he can't. He's got to cool himself. So that's what he's doing his best to temper himself. And emotionally, he's very stoic on the outside, but in the inside, it's just fireworks, dynamite's going off, TNT, the whole bit. It's all nuts in there. But he's trying to keep control. So it's interesting. If there's any Leos out there, you got to let me know about this as well. These are very interesting reads, the energy. I'd like to know if this matches. I mean, privacy is one thing, but the energy here is it's very interesting. And I don't feel he crosses the line. He's a very smart, mature, moral person, you know, so I'm feeling that's all good and great and gravy. It's just a matter of being overwhelmed by someone so much. So, like, you know, like I said, love at first sight, soulmate, that kind of a thing. But he's really tempering himself to the point he's like, I can't let this lady know exactly. But yet he is. He is on a certain level being true to those feelings, which is good. Because I don't want to promote anybody hiding anything, you know, in any way. If you feel it, go for it. And he's just trying to say, okay, if I feel what I feel, I'm not rational. So I got to tone it down. But I'm going in this direction, you know. So it's kind of a love of a lifetime kind of a feel. So hopefully that works out for you. And I'm glad it's over the February that I'm picking up on this energy. And happy Valentine's Day, Leo. The single male, even though you may be single through this time, there's a certain point this is going to kick in and make sense to you. So take care, have fun, and be kind.